Eamon, we have a problem.
Oh, good. I was starting to worry this would be easy.
Calm down. What has happened?
The Warden has been captured.
What? How could this happen?
Never mind that. The question is how to free her. Calthrian will take her to Fort Draken. Getting in will be no small feat.
You look like you've been dragged through 10 kinds of crap, friend. What did you do? You don't even know. This is Fort Drakon. You're a lucky woman, my friend. Now, the Royal Dungeons, they're an oubliette. You'd never see daylight again. Drakon, this is where you go before you meet the gallows. How is it living if you ain't free? In the dark, in a cage, away from everything good in the world? Give me a noose over that any day. Good luck with that. I'll expect the Maker to walk in here and sing us a sea chanty first, though.
If you're not bleeding, I don't care. Well, I could keep you company. Maker, they put a lot of buckles on this thing. Hey, watch it! What do you think you're doing?
Only one shall stand.
Thank you kindly, friend. I think I won't be waiting around if you don't mind.
Right.
Who in Andraste's name are you?
A little frantic? I can see why! Less fighting, more dying, blast you!
And already this armor doesn't fit. You got to lay off the mince pie.
What's the password?
Blighted green recruits. Nobody gets through without it.
I should have been made a corporal by now. You never see them stuck polishing the rust off the armor. Hey, are you relieving me? It's about time. Good. Mind the blighted chainmail. The commander will skin us both if he finds any rust.
What's this? Oh, you must be the new recruit we were getting. You're late. The rest of your patrol is in the storage room. Find them and get yourselves ready for inspection.
I almost didn't make it out the mess today. Forgot the blighted password again.
That's why I write it down every day. Keep it in my pocket. I got stuck on the second floor hallway for 3 hours last week. I swear those guards are possessed by demons or something.
Did you need something?
We've been ordered to get this room cleaned up.
So the Colonel can eat off the floor if he wants to. Cursed potatoes. Thank the Maker.
What are we going to do about him, though? So the assistant quartermaster is a little miffed with us at present.
I told you we should have put those potatoes in the cellar straight away.
Some things went amiss. Mistakes were made. The quartermaster got chewed out by Tern Logain, and then he chewed out the assistant.
And now to get back at us for landing him in trouble, the assistant quartermaster won't give us our blades. And you can't pass inspection without a regulation sword.
He's got no beef with you. Maybe you could talk to him? He's down the hall in the armory.
Maker, help us. Andraste's secret girdle. He's gone!
Well, don't just stand there. Get your blade and let's report to the Colonel before he gets back.
So, you think you're ready to go on your first patrol mission, do you? That's what I like to hear. You there!
Yes, sir.
Stand up straight. You're a soldier in the King's army, and the King's own men don't slouch. And you!
Yes, sir.
Stop fidgeting. You can fidget on your own time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Kiss arse.
I expect the lot of you back here by sunup. Now get out of here, and make her watch over you.
Password?
Rabbit, I think.
Going on your first patrol, are you? Good luck.
Stay sharp out there. Let's get started.
I'm sorry, my child, but I'm busy right now. Come back later.
It's always a proud day when a soldier takes up real duties. Andraste watch over you lot.
Good luck out there.
Excuse me, the Lady Queen has summoned me to see to her unmentionables. Well, not much. Just, may I air that for you, my lady? She's brought a maid of her own to wait on her. I beg your pardon, sir, but I really can't be seen standing about. The housekeeper will have my head. Good day.
Maker's breath. It's good to see you in one piece, my friend.
Indeed. We have been praying for your safe return, Warden. I was uncertain you would respond as you did, considering the consequences. I am glad you did. Thank you. Now, however, we must work together. And quickly. My father has gone mad. I didn't believe it at first. But he is gripped by a paranoia so severe it prevents him from seeing sense. He saw me as a threat. Yet even now, I'm certain he will be telling the nobles you are dangerous murderers that have kidnapped and mind-controlled me. He may even believe it. I thought so. I'd hoped so. Hal's influence was strong. His death can only be a good thing. But even that will not be enough. I know my father, and he is committed to his course. He will see this through, no matter what. You will need ammunition come the Landsmeet, and I can help you in that regard. You have only just arrived in the city, so perhaps you are unaware of some recent events. Denerim has been in turmoil since Ostagar. Many people here are angry or grieving. Strangely, the unrest is worst in the alienage. Few elves accompanied the army. They should have little reason to be upset, which means that Hal and my father must have given them reason. I don't know what is happening there, but I am certain my father has his hands in it.
A useful lead, Honora, but you could have sent this information with your maid.
That is true. I feared for my safety as Hal's prisoner. But to tell the truth, I sent Elena to you because I hoped we might join forces. You need that evidence for the Landsmeet, but you also need a stronger candidate for the throne. You need me. I have no doubt Alistair is biddable enough, and decent, but even with his blood, he is no king. You think only I can see it? Not only that, Alistair is a Grey Warden. It will look like you are trying to put a Grey Warden on the throne, despite your claims. I am a neutral party, and I am already queen.
Honora, you are indeed Kaelin's widow, but...
I am the daughter of Ferelden's greatest general. Who do you think truly ruled this nation for the last 5 years? Kaelin. I am what this country needs, not an untrained king who does not even want the throne. I can help you stop my father. Consider what I have said. For now, I think I will retire to my room. Warden, when you have a moment, I ask that you speak to me in private.
Well, she's quite spirited. I remember when Loghain first brought her to Denerim. Poor Kaelin was a good boy, but Honora was always 2 steps ahead. Had him jumping when she snapped since the first time she batted her eyelashes. I cannot help thinking she may be trouble, but we should keep her close, all the same. This is an alliance of convenience. For the moment, we are united against Loghain. Be careful how much trust you place in her. I do not for a moment think Honora means to give up her power easily. Still, I would rather have her where we can watch her than actively working for Loghain. Honora was a capable administrator for Cailan's lands, but she has not a drop of royal blood. We did not fight the DAOrigins all those years just to lose our royal line in a single generation. Not when there's a surviving son of the blood.
Thanks. I'm right here, you know.
His mother was a maid, but his father was Merrick Theron, for whom we all risked our lives to win back the throne. I only wish Merrick had taken more time to instruct the lad in the politics of ruling. I did my best, but we all hoped Cailan and Honora would secure the succession. Ferelden was first united by Calenhad, the Silver Knight. For 400 years, his descendants have ruled Ferelden. That was the heritage we preserved from the DAOrigins. And it is the heritage I will fight for as long as one of Calenhad's descendants still lives. Without that to unite us, we could scatter back to warring Terniers.
Are you serious? No, never mind. I don't even want to hear the rest of this. You two just keep talking about me. I'm gonna stand over here with my fingers in my ears.
That would certainly solve a lot of problems, and put forth the strongest argument before the Landsmeet to remove Loghain from power. With Theron blood on the throne, and Honora's wisdom and popularity, Ferelden could present the most united front against the Blight. Unfortunately, the marriage would never happen, unless they both agreed to it. And I suspect that might take a lot of persuading to get past her pride and his humility. We certainly have a great deal to plan. Maker knows what that man is capable of now. Of course, if I might make a suggestion, go speak with Honora. She will either be a powerful ally or a powerful enemy, and the sooner we know which she is, the better.
Hello again, Warden. It is good that you came to speak with me. I will be blunt. I can see that your voice will be a strong one in days to come. It is to you that Eamon listens, and with good reason. My father must be stopped, but once that is done, Ferelden will need a ruler. I would welcome your support for my throne. That is exactly what I am proposing. When the time comes, you support my bid in the Landsmeet to remain on the throne. You will be seen as my father's enemy, yet you will be in support of his daughter. You will be seen as supporting the interests of Ferelden, as opposed to solely those of the Grey Wardens. In return, I add my voice to yours. Do you see? Together we can do what alone we cannot. He is my father, as well as a great general, who has served his nation well until now. If there is a way for him to live, I would prefer it. I am glad to hear it. In the end, it will be up to the Landsmeet to decide, I think. Does that affect your decision? Can we yet come to an arrangement? Ignoring that the man looks so much like Cailan, my recently dead husband, if you'll recall, my main fear is that he might govern like Cailan as well. But it is true that Alistair has Theron blood. To some, this is more important even than practical considerations. A union might be considered a compromise, but is this something Alistair even desires? Let me say this. If Alistair is willing to stand back and allow me to continue governing the nation, then I would be willing to have him as my king. It is my understanding that governing does not appeal to him anyhow. If that is so, this is a compromise I can live with. Do so. I will be interested to hear what he has to say.
So I'm guessing someone told Honora I was planning to steal her throne. She has a nasty glare. She wants to be queen. I get it. I don't trust her any more than her father, but I get it. They say that Honora is smart, determined. She's supposedly the one who's really ruled here, not Kaelin. She's her father's daughter. Me? I say that's where the problem lies. People like her and her father always think they're the only ones who can fix things. So everyone should just stay out of their way. What do you think? When the Landsmeet comes, you might even have a say. Marry her? As in marriage? As in be her husband? You've spoken to her about this? You didn't you? I can't say I like the idea at all. Why should I even consider something like this? You might have something there. All right. You've convinced me. If it comes to that, I'll agree to marry her. Make her help us all. Go and tell her, if you think it's a good idea. Me? I think I need a drink. Or 10.
Well, have you spoken to my lucky betrothed yet? Or will we be reduced to passing notes? He has? I wasn't expecting that, to tell you the truth. To marry Kaelin's brother. Well, I suppose stranger things have happened. If it will truly help matters... Is this it then? I agree to marry Alistair to retain my throne, and in exchange I give you my support. If not, then tell me now. Done. So, we have a deal, Warden. I trust you'll keep your end of the bargain. Now, I suppose, comes the task of dealing with my father. That will be no small feat, of course, but I am certain you already know this. I imagine you have much to do. Is there anything else you needed from me? Ask me whatever you like. Of course it does. Do you think me heartless? But how much worse would I be to calmly stay at the side of a man who murdered my husband? It seems a strange word to describe a marriage our parents arranged when he was newly born and I still in swaddling clothes, but yes, I loved him. He was reckless, impetuous, and charming. Had he not been king, he would have made a dashing rogue for a band of players. We were a good pairing. He would not have wanted the burden of ruling any more than I would have liked to remain the silent wife in my husband's shadow. Kaelin was so idealistic. The world was his storybook and he was the hero. My father is different. He's an idealist too, but he knows what idealism costs. They often clashed, but never seriously, never for long. Kaelin would always come round to Father's way of thinking eventually. And then the Blight came. Kaelin dreamed of uniting all the nations of Thedas against the Darkspawn. It was a dream. He wouldn't surrender. What my father saw, however, was the boy he had swaddled inviting Orlesian troops back into the land he had fought to free of them. And for once, my poor, foolish husband wouldn't back down. It was more than just my own loss, but I thank you all the same. Ask me whatever you like. Do you want me to try my luck at fortune-telling? There was an old woman who read palms in the village of Gwarren when I was a child. She told me that I would have 10 children and be bald as a winter heath when I grew up. I can't say I put much faith in foretelling. What will happen depends much on you, Warden. But you certainly knew that already. Well, he was once a farmer when he was a boy, if you can believe it. I never could myself. He's useless with plants, for one thing. I remember my mother once asking his help with a sick rose vine. My mother oversaw the rose gardens personally. He touched it. No more than that. And it shed half its leaves like a dog with mange. She never asked for him to help with her roses again. He bought her another one, though. He carried it back from Denerim with the branches overflowing his saddlebag. Despite the thorns tearing him bloody, he wouldn't let anyone else take it. He wanted to be the one to present it to her. My father has his faults, Warden, but he is far from common. Trust would perhaps be putting it too strongly. My father knew what How was. And while I despised the man, I knew that father relied on his political mind. I expect my father thought himself above being influenced by the snake. Truly, I wonder how many of these acts stemmed from How and not my father at all. We may never know. Because he believes he is right, Warden. He thinks he is the only one who can see Ferelden out of its current crisis, even if it is one he helped engineer. My father is capable of remarkable blindness, but it stems from his love of Ferelden. That is the saddest part of all, I think. I hope not, but I fear it is so, yes. Ask me whatever you like. Then I wish you luck, Warden. I have spoken with Alistair. Perhaps this mad betrothal won't be quite the curse it first seemed.
Warden, let me know if there's any assistance I can give you. We have much to do and little time. What? Maker's breath. You didn't magic them, did you? Of course, but I hardly imagined that you could convince her so readily. I am impressed. This alliance can only help us. Well done, my friend. We need to do all that we can in the few days left to us before the Landsmeet.
Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken. We went through our joining together, more years ago than I like to remember. He was exactly the same back then, tough as stone and just as grizzled. I think he understood sooner than the rest of us how ugly a choice it is to let the few be sacrificed to protect the many. Always left himself a soft spot for his recruits, though. Only way he ever let himself down. When I'm well enough, I'm going to continue my journey toward Ostagar. Hopefully I'll be able to trace the heart of the Blight and where the Archdemon itself abides. If we want to defeat this Archdemon, we need to know where it is and how soon it might strike. If there were more of us, I would agree. But as it is, I don't think we can deprive all the armies you've gathered of a commander. Well, I'd be happy to tell you what I know, but it seems to me that you've picked the important parts up yourself. Be firm in your beliefs, protect people from their own ignorance, and be as loyal as you can to your brothers, even knowing you'll share their deaths. It's tough to say. Only the fortress in Weishaupt has every record. But there are certainly a few dozen or hundreds in every nation in Thedas. The Anderfells are home to over 1,000. It's almost like the Archdemon chose Ferelden deliberately, knowing how unguarded it is. Once only, and I'd rather not go again. It's far, lass, and very foreign. The Wardens there, they fight Darkspawn like you and me, but they're shaped by the winters there in the forest. They're a cold group and don't care like they should about the rest of the world. Their king is weak, and many Anders look to the Wardens to rule. I hate to say this, but some of them seem to want it that way. It was near 1,200 years ago, and no one knows for sure, except that it began with a group of Anders soldiers. Apparently, they defected from their king's army, vowing that fighting the Blight was more important, and traveled all the way to Tevinter themselves. They were the first ones to track down the Archdemon Dumat, and the ones to slay him, although none survived the battle. But they had picked up followers by then, and it was they who formally founded the Order, and were recognized by Thedas. Archdemons don't awaken on their own, you know. It takes the Darkspawn, tunneling and tunneling, searching for centuries to find one. And with no one to lead them, it must be sheer chance, or maybe instinct, which leads them. What's surprising isn't that it takes so long between blights. What's surprising is that they succeed at all. But I imagine the old gods call to them, and it's that voice in the darkness which drives them through so many generations. The important thing to remember is, none of that matters. When you're facing Darkspawn, all you need to know is to stop them at all costs. Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken. It's located just off the Market District in the northern alley past the Old Noble Tavern. I'll sketch out the code which will let you pass the lock wheel. Inside you can take your pick of whatever equipment remains. It is the stockpile the Wardens have kept for centuries, for the defense of Denerim. Good luck to you, then. We will have to talk again when the land's meat is more settled.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orthamar.
Right. Let's get started.
This shield. It's Duncan's, isn't it? That's his crest. Thank you. Truly, I had no idea his shield wasn't with him. This is perfect. I don't know how else to express my gratitude. This means a great deal to me. I can't believe you remembered it at all. I'll treasure this. Thank you.
Have you heard the news about How?
Everyone in the city has. Ryland must be pleased.
That half-blood is as cold as the mountains. Did they not serve together in the war?
Oh, I can hardly speak ill of the sense or conscience of any man simply for wishing Rendon Howe dead. You've met him. The man made vipers seem personable.
Well, I didn't say I was shedding any tears over his passing. He never was any friend of mine.
Whoever you are, Wait. I know you. My son described you in great detail. He tells me that I owe you his life. When I saw my poor boy's legs, I only wish Howe still lived that I might tear him apart myself. I would bring troops against his son. But Oswin tells me Thomas had no part in his father's depravity. Is there anything you would ask as a reward for saving Oswin? Thank you again. Know that I will stand behind you at the Landsmeet with all the support I can muster. In fact, I am taking my supper today with Ban Reginalda of the White River Banorn. I'll speak with her about this at once. Was that your daughter?
Probably. Hebron has done nothing since we've arrived except spend coin on herself. If we stay in Denerim much longer, I'll have to send her to a cloister.
No need for such drastic measures. She's only a child. She'll outgrow this.
Is that the number that represents becoming intolerable? Yes. She turned 15 this past spring.
My son Oswin was just as bad. Rest assured.
May I help you? This is Ermenric's. Explain yourself. My brother would no more part with this ring than with his head. He's alive, then? Please, if you have any news of my brother, I would hear it. Captured by whom? And why? I think I will have to get this story from my brother himself. I thank you for bringing me this news. If you will be so kind as to tell me where he is, I will go to him at once. Ah, politics. You're more canny than I thought. My voice will be yours then, assuming I find Ermenric alive. Thank you. Take this. Waking Sea will not forget your assistance.